And then when you were mentioning that, just being out there, whatever, and there's a lot of solitude, I really want to thank the people who live on the shoreline, because I put myself in there. If I was living there and like I'm just looking out, and then and hopefully one skater, two skaters going by, being respectful of them. I try to be always very respectful of those houses. I mean, it's like I don't want to get up too close. Although sometimes the ice in one of those spots, so I just dart in and stuff like that. And I try to wave or something like that. But that's really special that it's that we can do it. So thank you.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
But we are respectful, and oftentimes there aren't a lot of people who are actually in their homes when we're skating. So we've only seen a few people
overall
throughout the years.
Overall,
so it's really
I've
nice
come to meet a couple. I think people that are here full timers.
Yep. Steve.
Steve, but then also another guy, I think at the end, which I don't know if we'll mention this later or mention it now, where he had a problem with kayakers kayaking too close to shore, and he thought that they were hurting like the duck babies and stuff like that. And so whenever I talk to my fellow kayaker friends, I mention that to them, because I want to be as total respectful. I mean, kayaking's not my bag. I love them all. I love them all.
Yes, you're right.
But it's all
and this
good.
year it was great to bounce.
Absolutely.
We like to bounce between them depending on the conditions and the weather, and it's just fun.
Yep.
He was skating here this winter, and I think that was his first time ever skating here, and he was just so taken aback
I think we might have met him.
Yeah,
maybe.
He was just totally impressed with this place, and so that day he was like, I cannot tell anyone about this. This has to remain secret, right? But the same day he was back in Kingston, and he struck a conversation with a stranger, and this guy had just moved here, and he was going, I love this place, oh, this is so beautiful. Next thing he knew, he was telling him, like, you should go up there and skate it. And he caught himself. He's like, wow, what is going on here? So I think that's a really interesting thing. We have these two contradicting urges to really just want to keep everything to ourselves, but at the same time we want to share what we think is really great. So how do we
I don't have that contradictory feeling. I don't. So
I do.
I know. Rick does. I don't feel proprietary about nature ever. I just don't.
I respect what he's saying.
Yeah, and I respect why people want to keep things the way they are and keep them quiet and gentle and soft. But I think when people respect nature, or at least I hope when people respect nature, and that's not a lot of people always. That nature can accommodate us, whatever that us is, and I guess I just, I don't really, maybe just because I skate here only, for the most part, I haven't felt encumbered by any large group of people, and I feel like I don't tell lots of people, but if somebody says to me I'm really into skating, and my cousin has come up from New Jersey, and Jim comes down from Pine Hill, and they love it. And why not share that? Because it's such a self-selecting group. I mean, there just aren't that many people who skate. We've been skating here for 10 years, and it's the same. Is there 20 people who skate here that are regulars at most?
Right. And I don't know if kayaking is presenting possibly more of a problem.
It's more disruptive.
Well, and again, because I'm here all the time going back and forth, either by car or hopefully by bicycle. One time last spring, I was riding my bike back from NYMBYist or whatever, and all the cars, all the parking spot over there, all the cars were in there, plus there was like 4 or 5 cars parked along the side of the other side of the road.
Yep.
And I just said, that's too much. That is just too much. And I think that was like my one thing.
I remember we spoke about that.
Yeah, that when this one weekend, a good ice skating weekend, and I don't think there was as many cars there as for whatever reason.
But there were a bunch. There were probably 7 or 8,
but
right?
I just thought it was just too much, and again, I do respect the way, and I have other friends that they want to open up lands, for everybody. And since I live here and I've come to like have my way of living and like some nice solitude and stuff in some various areas, the way they want to open it up is possibly going to just change things forever. I mean, because some of these things we're not talking about here, once you go to that next level, it's never going back.
Maybe. I sort of feel like we live in the Catskill Forest Preserve. We have 600,000 acres of land, right? I almost never see anybody on any of it, ever. I've run into a couple of mushroom foragers once, not you, but and a couple of hikers, but that's it. The only place where I really feel like that's a real problem is hiking up on Overlook Mountain by KTD, by the parking lot, where sometimes you can't even get a parking space. And that has overrun.
Because you live over there, you live that way. And see, to me, it's funny because since, I don't travel, I try to keep my little areas of travel.
Yeah.
And Overlook is not one of them.
Yeah,
so I don't even know that. I don't even know that.
They ticket people. It's a real problem. So that's an overknown, overused trail with a too small parking lot. And even the trail, even when the parking lot's filled, you don't really find that many people on the trail. It's not that bad,
right?
Because it's a steep trail. But I just have found that in general around here, most of the nature, even if you go to Bluestone Park down there on 28 or whatever it's called. Bluestone Forest, I literally have never run into anybody. It just doesn't happen. So I sort of feel like, we're trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist.
Right.
And I also don't want to create a problem too and make it feel overrun and where there's garbage or whatever, some kind of disrespectful behavior. But I just haven't felt like there's an overpopulation issue happening here.
Okay.
So we quite respectfully disagree, but I know where you're coming from and you know where I'm coming from, I think.
Right. Okay, touche to that. We'll leave it at that's fine.